On Second Shot, we tackle 2 new headlines every week to find out what kind of wisdom the world is dishing out today. And we want you to be a part of that. When you see a headline you want to take a second shot at, or if you're looking for advice, or just want to tell us what you think of the show, email us at secondshotcast@gmail.com. If you like what you hear, rate us on iTunes. This helps us move up in the ratings so more people will see us. And if you want to hear more, subscribe to the show so that the new episodes will get straight to you every single Friday. We love you. Thanks for listening, and enjoy.
There's a lot of news in the world today.
News that might surprise you, startle you, upset, or maybe impress.
News that's not always for the faint of heart.
That's why the man who failed his way to success, Heath Oakes, is stepping up.
Tackling today's headlines with ignorance on fire in a way only a millennial mogul can.
Take off your sport coat, grab a beer, and enjoy the conversation.
This is Second Shot with your host, Heath Oakes.
I will always be the first person to say that I am by far never the most smartest person in the room. But the first story we're going to talk about today, this dude, if I was in the same room, I would feel confident that I was the smartest person in the room. But before we get to it, we have Layla back again. We're so excited to have you back. I'm glad you stuck around.
I'm having fun. This is a cool podcast. Thank you for having me.
Zach and Matt, as always.
Hey.
Hello.
You know, and you got anything interesting coming up, Layla? Like, you going anywhere cool? You do anything? But no, Layla always gets
summer,
no. Here's something. Let me tell you, I'm jealous of her. She gets to do the cool stuff. Like, she gets to go out to Hollywood for all the big film stuff and interview. What's the last couple of movies you've been at, and who are the people you've interviewed?
I just wrapped up Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's a Marvel film, really cool because it's the first time a female character has had her name in the title of a Marvel movie.
Oh, wow.
So I talked with Michael Douglas recently. That was the highlight.
Oh gosh.
I also did the sequel to Jurassic World. So this was Fallen Kingdom. So Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard.
What about the funny one with all
Jeff
the older
Goldblum?
Like ladies that were like icons? What was that movie?
Oh, I did the book club.
Yeah.
I sat down with Jane Fonda.
Oh, wow.
Candice Bergen. Yeah, all the great
Is that
ladies.
not cool? That's
Mary
pretty cool.
Steenburgen. Yeah, it's cool. In the moment when I'm there, because I've met some amazing people. Holly Berry's so beautiful in person. It's so sweet. When I meet these people, it hits me after.
Yeah.
Because what people don't know at home, when I have these interviews in Hollywood, I get 4 minutes.
That's it.
And sometimes that's really like 3:30. It's not even 4. I have 4 minutes to find stories and magic in several stories. And so I have to go on there like with tunnel vision. Then afterward, I'm like, oh my God. I really just hung out with, Thor.
Yeah, like how cool is that, right?
Just like staring at Chris Hemsworth for like 4 minutes. It was great.
Yeah, Layla, I do a movie podcast on the side. Let's talk offline after the show,
yeah,
shall we?
I
Let's have a conversation.
I have some exciting stuff
Cutting on
coming
that
out, but I
Hollywood
can't
stuff.
announce it just yet. I have some big movies
I
coming up.
I was always jealous when I've seen it because obviously whenever you and Jenny started working together, I started following you on Facebook and Instagram, the Instagram and all that stuff too. And I seen, but man, that's cool. Like that would be fun to be.
It's a grind because it happens quickly. It's a lot of flying and moving and shaking, but I make it happen. And I made that relationship work with the studio. So now they call me and say, hey, you want to come do this? And it's a win-win for the job because you put the stuff on air and there you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe you could go to Florida and interview this next guy.
Oh.
If you maybe want to just really get into inside of a genius brain here. But
I think my question is just, what were you thinking?
Zach, you got to tell him.
Well, first things first, I want to give a shout out to where this comes from. The author of this article is an old friend of the show, an old so-and-so, Chad Prather, believe it or not, over on politicalcowboy.com, so check him out. Florida man asks police to test the quality of his meth. You can guess what happened next. Yes, Douglas Kelly, a 49-year-old man from Florida, called the police and told them he'd had a bad reaction to some meth he purchased and consumed from a dealer. He asked the county sheriff's office if they would test the drugs for him, make sure he hadn't been sold some other narcotic, stating he would press charges on the dealer if that were the case. Gonna get to the bottom of it. According to the sheriff's office, they said He said, sure, come on over. So he drove over, handed the detectives a clear crystal-like substance wrapped in aluminum foil. They arrested him on possession of meth. He was held on $5,000 bond, and they got on Facebook and let people know, public notice, if you believe you were sold bad drugs, we are offering a free service to test them for you.
Oh, dumb criminals.
Oh, gosh. Yes.
I mean, can you imagine the cops when they got the phone call with it, that how much they did not expect anybody to walk in there with meth? Like, they thought maybe their buddy was pulling the prank on them because, I mean,
I mean, they had to. I bet they had a pool going. Like, who thinks he actually comes in? Right? No way. That was real. That was a gag. Oh, man.
He seriously brought his meth to get tested by the cops because he was going to press charges on
Against the dealer.
On his meth dealer.
Sure.
And they tested it proudly.
Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, they did actually field test it, and it did test positive.
Yeah,
so they did actually run it for him. Yeah, that wasn't a bit. Like, that happened.
You know, I just thought that was hilarious because I thought that anybody can laugh at that because that he's really that dumb, and that was mind blowing to me, and it made me feel better because I know I'd be smarter in the room with him. You know, for sure.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure I got that one beat. But what I thought about too, because I've talked about it before, especially as a younger person, but or even a newer person in a new area. You know, we always say, you know, there's no such thing as dumb questions and things of that to ask them, and that's true. That you need to ask to learn and all of that. Luckily, in today's world, we got a thing called Google. We can always ask too. You know,
or Siri.
Yeah,
sure.
She knows a lot.
And I guarantee you, Layla, that whenever I kind of tell you on this, that you're going to resonate with it because being 24, 25, giving the news and being around a lot of, look, there's just so much things that a 60-year-old person has a lot more wisdom than us at 24, 25. And because I've been in the same deal. I've been in those circles where I was like in a meeting about insurance, right? And with all these brokers been around forever, and they have brought up something like MIWA, right? They're talking about it all, and it's going... And I don't have a clue what that is.
Right,
okay.
Right.
But I didn't. But I knew that it was something I probably should have known. Right. Okay. So you've been in. Have you been in these conversations where that person that is in that meeting where they should and then go, well, what's a MIWA? And everybody's like, how the hell do you not know that? Right. Me, I'm the one that I deflect the questions, ask them questions back. I just keep it. I don't put opinions on it because I don't know it. You know. I'm just not going to bust out in the middle of them, dude. As soon as I leave, I go to Google
and try to find it.
And I learn it for the next time. You know what I mean? And so I can guarantee you that you've been in conversations where someone that did, and you are the type of person that probably used your intuition to know, maybe I should not, I should probably know this. So people come around and instead of, I never acted like I knew what I was talking about on it. I just would like if somebody said, well, what's your thought on the MIWA? I would have said, well, what have you used in the past with it?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Let you answer that question. I don't know what's going on.
Because I realized I probably should know this, and I went back and I learned it. There's two types of people. The people who they just don't care enough that they just are like, well, what's a MIWA? Even though realizing I should probably know what that is. And the other one that walks away and they never think about it again because they never learned, where I always went back and learned. And I was like, next time I'm not going to know that. Have you ever been in those situations?
Oh, yeah.
And been with those people that were, have, said something and it's like, especially being on air probably on something going like, you really should have known that. You shouldn't have asked that on air.
Right. But I've also been the one who had to learn things, especially earlier on. And you're in a meeting and it just even starting out in TV, certain terminology we use. I may have to go back later and let me Google what that meant or pull someone aside. Okay, I know what that means. How do I make that work effectively? Can you show me? Just finding someone who can teach you on the side. That's putting that initiative out there to say, I'm going to learn on my own versus coming to the meeting next week and still not knowing what this terminology means or how to best put this story together.
But you went back and worked to know it.
Yeah. Or how to properly do an investigative piece, which is much more in depth and much longer than a traditional story. But on air, it can happen on air because you don't. I try to say I go into every day trying to know everything about everything because you just never know what we're going to crosstalk about. Yep. So if I look at the whole show rundown and I know all the stories in there, let me know a little bit about everything so I can kind of at least sometimes BS my way through a conversation. Yep. There's some topics you can't BS.
Right.
Politics is one.
Yep.
Ooh. And I tell folks, if you don't know what's going on in the political climate, don't try to BS on TV. Our show airs in DC. They know their stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
You cannot fake it for those audiences. So I try to know a little bit about everything, but there's also that trust you can have with the co-host or co-anchor where I can give you a look that says,
no, you got
this.
I got
I'm
nothing.
Like, I don't know what this story's about. And I've built that trust with co-anchors over the years where we can look at each other and know he has me or she has me, and I know you don't know this topic. I got you. So
but
that's important.
But here's the thing too, though. I don't know if you should ever BS anything ever. I just don't think you don't have to blatantly ask, if somebody says something about football and the people who BS are the ones that will try to act like they know on the topic and then they BS it. See, like me, I didn't BS it. I would just not I would never engage like I knew it.
Right.
But I wouldn't be going, I don't know what the heck y'all are talking about.
Right.
I would, but I just wouldn't be like, I wouldn't be trying to give my opinion. I've been on those people that want to give their opinion and they have no clue what they're talking about,
right.
and that's their BS, trying to BS their way, where I would just always ask questions back. That way I didn't have to give mine. And I think that people don't take the time. I've never understood why. I've never been in a conversation where if there's something I don't know what's going on, that I hadn't went back to learn. Like that's I've always taken those as opportunities. I'm going to learn about that, because next time I'm going to be able to talk intelligently about
it. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. No. I'm going to drop a hot football analogy here because I'm so up on football.
He knows nothing about sports.
Nothing about sports, Layla. It's sad.
Yeah.
You're not running the ball. You're just playing defense.
Yeah.
All right. The other team's got a strategy that you don't know. You're just, you know what? I'm going to step back for a minute.
Yes.
I'm going to figure out what I'm doing. Yeah. And I'm going to move forward. Yeah.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I think you just got to know when to switch.
And it's got to be careful, because when I'm trying to explain this, because I don't want this to come off wrong. It's not
okay
that
to
I
ask questions.
Yes, but it's also know the times that if maybe you are in a lane, right, that you're supposed to, let's say you're supposed to know this about politics and you're on there, okay?
Yeah.
And something comes up and they talk about it, and if you don't know it, don't start freely giving your opinion on something you don't know. It's best to play the defense on, find ways to deflect that, pay attention, be intuitive enough to realize when you're in a situation that there's something that everybody's commonly kind of talking about and you don't know, that maybe it is something you should, that maybe you just keep deflecting and you learn afterwards. In that, maybe it's not the time to go, hey, cops, can y'all come test this meth and tell me I think I got it wrong? Maybe there's time to go. Maybe I need to sit back and Google it.
I think and I can't give him a defense because I just can't defend this guy.
Yeah.
In his defense, bless his heart.
Yeah.
He was clearly on the
yes,
drugs.
he was on the drugs.
And, that might have been a first for that department. And I'm sure
I think
that's going down in history.
Well, what did he drive there? Like, what was his plan exactly?
Did he Uber or did he drive? That's a good question.
He better have Ubered. And if you can order an Uber and call the cops and deal with all this, odds are the meth was probably okay, right?
Yeah, that's
clearly you were able to function.
Yeah.
You're probably all right, but that's whatever.
Yeah, I have questions. I still have questions.
I think that what I want to make sure everybody knows, it's okay to ask questions. But you need to be intuitive enough to realize when it's something that you should probably blatantly know, that it's best to hold off, play defense in that conversation, and go learn it afterwards. That's not BSing. That is being intuitive enough to know it and go learn it. Don't leave and not learn it. These are the times when the things come up you don't know about. Don't speak and give opinions on what you don't know.
Yeah.
But go back and learn it. I've learned everything I've learned over. After I hear something I don't know, I play defense and I go back and I learn it and I go, that's not happening again. Don't be the person that calls the cops to test your meth. That's what I'm saying.
Great way to tie that in.
We'll be right back in a minute for the second segment of Second Shot.
He's a suit and tie kind of guy with deep Southern roots. Heath Oaks hosts more of Second Shot coming up on RNCN.
To all of my friends in the great state of Texas, if you have not taken advantage, I have a way to save you a ton of money. I have saved over about $3,000 in the last year, and I have no hassle. Go to energyogre.com, put in the promo code SECONDSHOT. Now listen, promo code SECONDSHOT, and you're going to get a free month just for signing up and saving a ton of money. So don't be crazy. Stop sitting around talking about, is this the real deal? And go do it right now. energyogre.com, promo code SECONDSHOT, and a free month. Thanks. Go get it now. Run.
Ready? Aim. Fire. Second Shot is back for another round on RNCN.
On the last topic, we were just saying, wouldn't you hate to be the public defender that's got to defend that last guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would stink. That's you want to talk about being put in a no-win situation?
That's got to be a guilty plea, right? You're like, as a lawyer, that's my advice. Plead guilty.
Unless
just roll
he fights
over.
it.
Yeah, you're not getting out of it. What are you gonna do?
You go to court and the prosecutor says, Your Honor, let's play this tape.
Yeah.
That's it.
You showed up at a. Yeah,
I
it's a
mean,
whole thing.
There's the tape.
I guess you could play the mental route because he obviously would have to be mental. I mean, you got to think he's not in his right mind, right? I mean, you could almost play that probably because who would do that?
Yeah, he was heavily under the influence, and he gave up names when he got there. This is my supplier. Can you call him and ask if this is real?
He was trying to call the cops on a bad guy. He was calling the good guys about the bad guys. He was doing the right thing, just in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Now this next one, I bet you $100 that this next one is like, I bet you if you had a room of 20, 30 people, that it is going to be kind of a both sides. There's going to be a lot of people that can argue on both sides of this next one, I bet.
And there's a new app that locks teens' phones until they reply to parents' texts. Nick Herbert, a father in the United Kingdom, got his son Ben an iPhone when he entered middle school to keep up with them, as you do, and he ran into the same problem that a lot of parents do. It's difficult to keep up with them. His phone would be on silent because he's playing games or he's been at school or he's ignoring you. And he wanted to figure out a way to get a hold of his son whenever he needed to. So he developed an app. He kind of took his, blazed his own trail and developed an app called Reply ASAP, which is exactly that. It's an app that locks your phone until you reply to your parents' text. It also sets off an alarm that goes off even if your phone's on silent. It's going off no matter what. It's like a sound bomb in a classroom. And that's kind of the whole setup. And I think it's interesting that this dad went to the trouble to, plant his own flag and say, I'm doing this, and then this is what I'm going to do. There's nothing that fits my needs, so I'm going to make it happen. What do you think, Keith?
I don't understand. Well, number one, I guess I didn't realize kids take their phones to school.
Oh, come on. Did you have a pager back in the day? I took my pager to school.
Here.
Had that hot pager number.
It was a lime green pager.
Mine didn't work,
green.
but I carried it. I found one that didn't work because we couldn't afford to have it on, but I carried it like I had one.
Nice.
We took them to school.
I could have the battery in it so it could be like on,
I had an iPod and I would hold it to my phone like it was an iPhone, and I thought I was so cool. Yeah, and that dates me. I realize now, but it's fine.
Yeah, I'm about to say we didn't. I mean, I don't. The cell phones were not a. There were still bag phones around.
We didn't have cell phones back then.
I don't know. That's an interesting. I mean, locking it till they reply. What's harder for me is that if I was in the age of when I was growing up, that it was the phone thing, if I wouldn't not reply to my dad because the fear of the whooping I was going to get when I got home if I didn't, so they wouldn't have had to put no app lock. The lock was my dad's belt if I didn't.
Yeah, or I'm going to take the phone away. You're not being responsible. Parents give these kids the phone, especially the young. How young were they? Were you saying like middle school?
Yeah.
I mean, because they're coming home from school alone. Maybe there are kids who have a key. Parents are at work, so I get why.
Oh, and I do
give
too.
a child.
Hey, look, I want Brighton to have a device on her where if anything happened, I can find her. Right. I like that idea.
And she can call you. But for example, my youngest sister's in her early 20s. Mm-hmm. She's so guilty of this. She does not respond to text messages. She doesn't answer calls. She gets sidetracked doing whatever she's doing, being all young and fun in LA, that she is so negligent when it comes to responding to my mom. My mom is way in North Carolina, so she freaks out. Is something wrong? Is everything okay? So if she had this device on her phone, this would be great because she could still keep up with her when she really needs to get in touch with her.
Yeah.
So I get why parents would want to do this, because sometimes the kids would ignore your call because they're playing this video game on their phone, or this game, or they're talking to their friends, they're at the mall. You need to know your child's okay. So I get that part. I like it for that reason.
I do too.
It's after school and you haven't checked in. Let me find you.
Right.
You're not answering. I think the worst has happened to you.
I agree.
So this at least gives you some sort of
as a
immediate
kid,
way to get in.
As a kid, my dad's belt was the app I needed.
Fear. That's what that was.
Would have needed.
That's not every parent though.
No, it's not. No, it's really not at all. No, and I think it's interesting. I think it's cool. I'm gonna go down the route. I'm worrying about the route of that phone or no phone already, and I only got a 1-year-old. It's like when they get older, like because I so bad don't want them to be tied to it, but then I do want to know where they're at. Like,
right.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I like that stuff.
Right. You don't want them to be stuck on their phone, but you also don't want them to be the one kid in class that doesn't have one, because then they're not cool, and like that's not good for social standing. That's a whole thing. So real quick, my parents were sharp in their delivery of not giving me a phone, because they gave it to me. They said the day you get a job, you'll get a phone, and which was good incentive to get a job.
Yes.
Because I turned 16, the next day I got a job, and the day after I got a phone, so that worked out. Like just right when I turned 16, I wanted one so bad.
That's perfect, though.
And they told me, and I remember telling them, because I was in middle school and a little bit of high school, and I said, what am I going to do if I need to call you? They were like, find a payphone, ask for help. And I was like, how am I going to do
They
that?
ain't
They were
around
like,
no more.
You can't
that's
fucking
life. Life is figuring out how you're going to make it through the next day. So you're going to have to overcome that challenge. And when you get older, you're going to thank us. And I thought back then that was dumb. And in a way, I still do. But at the same time, there's maybe some wisdom there. So,
You know what's interesting is I actually kind of changed my my thought in the middle of your conversation, like what you were talking about. People don't really understand the power that happens if you respond or don't respond to people, the message that puts out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I think that does it not seem extremely disrespectful to you if you have an email or a message somebody like they never respond?
It's so rude,
Isn't it?
And I know people like that, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm really busy. I live a very busy life. I'm one of the busiest people I know.
Yes.
But I can still stop at some point in that day. Sometimes I look at it and say, okay, I'll get back to it in a second. I'm driving or
Yes.
whatever. But I try to make sure I get back to that person. It's so rude when you read a message and you just never respond. I'm like, and you do it every single time. You're not that busy.
No, and that.
Then I see you on Instagram. You're at
Yeah.
a restaurant. You're doing, so clearly you used your phone since I texted you, and you can't respond.
I always say it too. I
So
always go,
rude.
look, I guarantee you're not as slammed as I am. You know what I mean? I
not.
guarantee you are not. And look, I'm not saying I understand. I'm not expecting a response in 5 minutes.
Right.
Within 24 hours is respectable. You know what I mean?
Sometime this week.
You know, at times there's got to be. But I think that what some people don't understand is that how just because they don't think it's a big deal, and it's like being punctual or not, right? Not being punctual is disrespectful.
Right,
you are
right.
showing you disrespect that person's time.
Yeah.
And there's a difference. Yes, there's times that all of us are late.
Yeah.
It's a difference of if you got 10 times you meet up and there's one time you're late,
Right.
versus
Every
the other.
single
So
time, yeah.
if you're late every now and then, nobody's gonna
Right.
hold that. If you forget one response every now and then, I'm human. I've done it too. But you got to put something in place and realize how much of that puts on your character. That really makes people question a lot of your character. One little bitty thing, because it's like, wow. I mean, it really. I believe I get really bad feelings toward people that don't respond to things. I really don't have. Like I probably would unfairly think a lot of not good things about them. Because of one little response stuff.
Yeah. I have a friend.
Sure.
We all do.
And she also has a very busy job too. And she is notorious for not responding ever. But when she needs you to show up for something, she's doing an event she's hosting or something on her show or whatever, you better respond right away. And I've told her before over lunch, like, hey, it really frustrates me that you don't respond. And she's like, oh, you should see my phone. I have all these messages. I don't care. But you know how to get to work on time. You know how to make it here for this event. You know how to make it to. So you sort of pick and choose what's important. So the message it sends to me is, on your list of important people, I'm way down there.
Yes.
Because I'm not even worth
Yes.
hey, got this text, yes or no, or anything.
Yep.
Stop texting me, say something.
I pull a weird trick to force myself to respond to stuff like that, and it's something I've told people about, and they think I'm insane. And I'll try to be quick because I don't have much time left. I turned on read tags on my phone for texts, which nobody does and are off by default, and they probably should be. And read tags, what they do is when you send me a text, anybody in my phone sends me a text, my phone automatically sends a message back and goes, read at this time. And that forces me
That's not a
to
bad
respond
idea.
because no matter what, that's an answer. And that means whoever reads that if I didn't say anything in an hour, I ignored you.
But did you have a problem replying?
A little bit.
Okay, but see, this is perfect though, Zach, because you realized you had an issue that you were forgetting, and you know what you did instead of being like some friends we know. You said, I'm going to do something to put a check and balance for myself to make sure I'm not doing this. Because you obviously realized you thought, okay, that's not a good look. You made a choice to change that habit, which I applaud you for. Some
Right.
don't.
Yeah, he forced accountability upon himself.
It's effective and it works.
Yeah.
It works really well, especially professionally, because people will text me and they'll be like, "Thanks for seeing it and responding in 2 seconds." I'm like, "Well, I gotta," but it works. It's effective. So
And see,
hey, it is what
I
it
don't
is.
have that
Yeah.
because I do. Like I part of my habits, I'll go through my.
And that's
I-
okay.
yeah.
Well, no,
right.
because but I didn't have that. That was not one of mine, so I wouldn't do that or need it because I don't need that reminder with it.
Right.
But I applaud you for making a choice to say, I don't want people to have this look of me. Like, I'm not somebody who is disrespectful,
Right.
but and you could be somebody who is not a disrespectful person, but understand that one little thing really comes off as being disrespectful, and they can think that about you in a lot of parts of your life because of one little thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And you had your dad's belt, and it's not nearly the same. I have fear of some kind of setback from somebody who sends something to me thinking he doesn't respond. I have this there to force me to do something, to take action, and I'm better for it, I think.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I applaud you for that, because a lot of people, if you're one of them, I hope you implement that, because
Read tags.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of unattended consequences that you have no idea about, that are little bitty things that you write off as little bitty things that I guarantee you some people don't take them so little.
Exactly.
And being punctual and being somebody who is responsive and being somebody who is on top of that type of stuff has a lot of great character traits that come with those people, don't you think?
Absolutely.
So respond. Don't
it's
make
so
me
rude.
put an app on your phone that alarm goes off and everything else. Just respond to the dadgum test. We'll be back in a minute for the third segment of Second Shot.
Now that's what I call ignorance on fire. More of Second Shot with Keith Oakes still to come.
You guys have been listening to Second Shot and hearing us talk about it. You need to go pick up my book, Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. You can get it on Amazon in a paper book. You can also hear this beautiful voice of mine in audiobook style on Audible or anywhere you're going to get your audiobooks. Guys, this book took a lot of time to put into it, and I believe it can really be some life-changing stuff to help you on your path to success. And hopefully you're going to fail your way to success just like I did. Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. Amazon.com, Audible.com, audiobooks, paper books, everything. Get it, share it with your people, and I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Go pick it up today.
Kick off your boots or suit up. The choice is yours. Welcome back to Second Shot on RNCN.
So on this segment, Layla, since we got to know you a little bit more on the last one, for the listeners knows when we typically will take our listener emails and stuff, and I also lately have been really hardcore shaming our listeners into actually leaving reviews instead of hearing me talk about it every week and not doing it. You know, I'm slowly shaming as much as I can until they go, oh, I'll leave one finally.
That's good.
I don't want to say it's effective, but people leave reviews. Yeah.
I mean, look, it's not hard.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
like it. We get a lot of people that love it, that do other, like, just
We
go,
love it.
please.
You love it.
Yes.
Come on.
And it's on YouTube. It's on everything. And also it's like, hey, share it. If you like this, and a lot of you do, hey, share it. Tag us in it. Tag RNCN in it and tag it out. Let us know that you're sharing it. Tell your friends and family about it if it picks you up in any way. And, you know, we do appreciate it. The reviews and stuff help us to help other people find it as well. And so we had a couple more on actually iTunes. One of them that says it's from Mark H. Kelly, Heath, Zach, Jenny, etc. I'm 62 years young, still am, and still learning more every time I listen to the show. Keep bringing the wisdom. Blessings, Mark.
Aw.
That's sweet.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Mark.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Mark. Appreciate you giving into the shaming.
Way to roll over.
The other
Good
one,
job.
it says no matter oh crap, I messed that one up, didn't I? I was trying to push on it and didn't quite work out that way. He said no matter what business you're in, and it's hashtag SEEGA. Oh, actually, this is my sister-in-law.
Oh, okay. Well,
So of course, you know she's gonna love
of
it.
course she's gonna shame. Yeah,
So I'm
she's gonna
just
fall
saying
for the
this.
shaming.
Thank you, sister-in-law, for leaving a rating and review. See, she gave into the shaming. It took her a while, but she did. Now we had a
awesome.
couple other emails. We have an update from a friend. If you're a constant listener of the show, Brenda Walker has sent one a while back with some stuff she wanted our ideas on, and she's done some things, and she's given us kind of an update.
Brenda's great. Yeah.
Yeah, so she said in person, she had some in-person interviews this
Congrats.
week, and telephone interviews went well. So exactly 3 weeks after she was laid off, she was offered a job, and she is thrilled. So congrats,
Oh, good.
Brenda. That's
Congratulations,
so
Brenda.
Job,
Yeah.
Brenda.
awesome. I'm happy for you. She said she was ready for some changes, excited for the opportunity, so now she can go on vacation truly stress-free. And she's learned that God will never throw something at us that we can't handle. And she said, thank you for your incredible words, wisdom, motivation. Keep being amazing people and parents. And going on a plane for the first time with our 13th 4-month-old. May the force be with us. So first of all, thank you, Brenda. And second of all, get ready.
Good luck.
If you got a Brighton, you better really get ready, because let me tell you something, girl. It's a fun plane ride.
You know what I appreciate of that? I appreciate Brenda following up after success. Saying, you know what, it all worked out for me, and I didn't forget that the second shot folks, I talked to them, and here's an email letting you know it all worked out. Thank you.
And I want you to know, Brenda, we care about that. Like you giving us an update is something we do care about, and I do appreciate it, because that's what part of doing this is giving back in any way, that any little bit of stuff we can or can't do that have been there. Like that's the most awesome thing about it. And so I do care about that, and we do appreciate it.
Yeah, Brenda Walker, thanks for the shout out. If you got any troubles at that new gig, and hopefully you don't, let us know, or let us know how the plane ride turned out.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was a loud time, I imagine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we had another one. And again, remember, secondshotcast@gmail.com.
That's us.
Secondshotcast@gmail.com. Email anything you want, questions, or maybe you want to tell us something, or maybe you want to give us a headline that you think we would like to take on. So this next person accidentally or meant to has a legal disclaimer at the bottom of their email. And I know I have one that naturally just goes on my work email. So I'm not going to say the name, because I'm not sure if they meant to have that, so we don't say their name on there or not. But you'll know who you are when you listen, so you can email us and let us know if you did or didn't, and we can give you some credit.
We'll know for sure, yeah.
So it says, Heath, Jenny, Zach, etc. Thanks for the great work and the insight you share. Where I work, they told us that they were going to be giving everybody raises.
Oh, no.
They said the letters telling us what the raises would be in the hand by the end of the month. However, the raises were not going to effect till September 1st. My view was great. We're getting a raise. I'm always grateful for more money in my paycheck. Many others, however, were very upset because they had to wait till September before their raises went into effect. What are your thoughts?
Oof.
So we'll address that. He said, also, ... dang y'all, dang it all, you got to talking on an episode about being 10% better than where you are now. So a while back talked about, look, don't try to be the best person. Don't try to change everything you got. Look, focus on just being 10% better somewhere, right?
Okay.
Like, I think it's overwhelming to try to look at it. Just be 10% better.
Right.
And I was talking about the $70 suits that I had when I started, and that I didn't care, but it was something that you needed to bring your game up. And you said, then you mentioned about even doing something as simple as keeping your car clean and neat, and all of that can raise the bar because you're clean, you're organized. That's how I've always been. He said, so the car's cleaned out now. He goes, I went through and got rid of the ratty T-shirts and got some button-ups.
Nice.
And he goes, and I've started to raise my personal bar at least 10%. He goes, I got to say, thanks. It feels good. I feel better, and likely would not have happened if it wasn't for the second shot and the wisdom y'all share. I may not be the richest person in the world, or even on my block for that matter, but I do hold my head a little bit higher right now. Life is good, and God is great.
Oh,
Man.
yay.
See,
I hope he writes back in so we can get a name. I want to give him a shout out on the show.
We can. I don't. I mean, he can tell us if we can't say his name, but I do appreciate that. That's why you do. That's why I take the time out. That's why we all take the time out to do this, is because of stuff like this. That's something. I've always believed that if you look the way you feel, and I do believe that if you. I've always said, look, I've been poor. I grew up poor. I grew up with nothing, but it don't mean you got to be trashy. Like you can have a crappy car, but you ain't got to have crap everywhere. You can still keep it clean. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
You ain't got to have, look, the problem is that people are looking at me now that, the $2,000+ suits weren't what I started with. That was $70 suits that I started with.
Right.
You got to get somewhere, but you got to put it together. And I like that he actually took it and did it, and that is awesome. And that he feels better about it, because that's what the end goal is that for you to feel like you feel better.
Right.
You get up and look at yourself and go, I'm more confident. I don't know about you, but if you look good, you're confident.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The other, what are your thoughts?
The more challenging
on his that they come out and told him they were getting a raise.
Right.
It was coming in September. He immediately was like, great. But a lot of people are mad because it's not till September.
Would it be better off if the job just didn't tell them and it just surprised them with the raises?
I'm gonna go glass half empty here. Well, what if you get to September, it gets pushed back again? Like you already got played once. You see, like
but that's not that's not part of the question, because that's not going to happen. But is this scenario? It's not.
It's very much glass half empty. Yeah, I don't mean to be that way.
No, I know. I'm joking, and it's more so that I guess he's like. the people that go, well, I want it now or this and that. And
well, at least you're getting the raise. I mean, that's his mindset. He's just happy they're getting it. He didn't say how much the hike was, or do these folks need it today? I mean, I guess everybody would like more money today. But I guess his approach could be, hey, guys, this gives you more time to plan exactly how you're going to invest, spend, celebrate, whatever you're going to do with this money.
Yeah, book those airplane tickets. It's tough because you get that carrot dangled in front of you, and then it's taken away. And it was never really there. That's the silver lining here. He seems to understand that. Yeah. But I can see why that's challenging, and that's got to be weird on.
Okay, well, let me make sure you understand this, Zach. Mm-hmm. They didn't come out and say we're giving you raises, and then go, oh no, never mind, not till September.
Okay.
It was the original memo was we're giving you raises. They will start September 1st, whatnot. That's what you were thinking. I was saying they.
Gotcha. They said and then pulled it back.
No.
Okay.
That was all
right.
part.
Well, then the only thing I really have to say about this is that's got to be strange for your workforce. Because on the one hand, that's got to energize them. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, what's the incentive to work any harder than you're working now because you know you're getting a raise?
Let me
right?
tell you,
people are just going to coast.
If I'm the boss, if I own that company and I got 50 employees and I do this, okay? And if I have the overwhelming majority are pissed off about this, I'm firing everybody and starting over.
Yeah.
Scorched earth. Just raise the place to the ground.
That means I have got a very bad culture.
It's true.
Because if you are such a negative person that you can't stand, like if that is, I'm hoping it's more so that he just saw a couple of people, because I could always expect there's going to be a couple of them, because there's somebody going to find something to be mad about no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that is the case, that it's just a couple. But if I did it and there was the overwhelming majority, I would be like, oh, my God.
Really upset.
We probably got a much worse culture than I think, because you're getting a raise. They're telling you. I guarantee you it's September 1st. See, what a lot of people don't understand, companies have fiscal years. They have certain budgets, certain things. And so more than likely their fiscal year ends around then, and they're able to they pushed a budget point or whatever to do it. At the end of the day, the company said, we're coming up, we're investing more in you, we're giving everybody more. Like, how can you find a negative in that?
Right. Oh, people can find a negative in anything. I worked at a job once. We had free bagel Fridays. Hear me, free bagel Fridays.
And
every Friday, fresh, free bagels.
Yep.
And little pastries. Oh, bagels again. This bagel's hard. You didn't pay for it. It's free.
Oh, man.
It's free breakfast.
There was probably somebody in there like, but the carbs, what about my diet?
Yeah.
Like,
people complain. Why are we always getting bagels? Why can't we? It's free and it's a bagel. Be grateful that someone thought enough to put that in the budget for every Friday.
Because they ain't got to.
They don't have to.
They got to.
Yeah. A lot of people go to work every day and hope that maybe they'll hear something about a raise at some point if they work hard. Like, you guys are in a place where it's been promised to you.
Yeah.
And it seems like whoever wrote this email appreciates that, and I respect them.
If I worked there, I would appreciate it, because I think the company's giving them a heads up, letting you know it's coming. So if they were maybe going to if they were budgeting for something, maybe for you, like knowing that that's coming versus it being sprung at the last minute, and maybe that, like, I mean, I think I would like to have that heads up some. Maybe I know I can budget for different things that's coming. Like, I would tell you that you were awesome. Thank you for being a positive person, because I can't. And if that's the overwhelming majority of people feel that way, you make sure you just keep itching your way away from those folks, because those ain't folks you want sitting at your kitchen table.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we appreciate the emails tremendously. Thank you. Don't take it for granted at all. Don't take any of it for granted. And the more that you send us, the more of your thoughts that you give us, the better. The more we want to talk about them. I want to know what you think. I want to know, look, if there's something you would like us to do different, if you've been a long-term listener, something that, just ask us. I'm open to anything. We still love doing it. We love the feedback. I feel like we get more and more, and I can promise you we don't take a drop of it for granted. I don't at all. But before we close it up, Layla, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Layla Muhammad TV and Layla Muhammad on Twitter.
You can find me at AppleZacintosh on Twitter and Instagram. It is the coolest hashtag you've ever heard in your life.
Layla, I seriously appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm seriously grateful for you taking time out of your day. I know it's not easy, and I really am grateful for it. It means a lot that you would take your time out. So
thank you for inviting me. I was honored for the invite. You guys are fun.
Thanks for coming on. It was
good
time.
Folks, or Ed Ignorance on Fire, as always. I love you. See y'all soon.
to RNCN, the digital destination for premium talk radio.